Yeah, make sure you've got your weights and your cushions and everything, and we'll just take our parallel stance, roll those shoulders back and relax them completely. Okay, so making sure we're in that parallel position with our feet, thinking about the big toe, little toe and heel, spreading our balance evenly over them. As we start with our Pilates, breathe in, deep breaths in through the nose, fill those lungs up, and exhale, release all the air out through the mouth. And let's just start to wobble from side to side. And front to back as well, allowing yourself to lose balance. So let's just kind of relax into this active position, closing the eyes and just think about that breathing, feeling how your core responds to the shifts in balance, and also being really aware of the big toe, little toe and heel, and feeling how your feet respond against the floor as we keep on taking lovely deep breaths. And we can start with our eyes open, but we're just going to come up onto our toes, lift the arms, breathe in, exhale back down. If you'd like, you can try that with your eyes closed as well. Again, thinking about being aware of the core, of the length throughout your body, and of how your weight shifts. And again. Thinking about engaging as well when you're inhaling. So thinking about keeping that tummy flat. One more. Wonderful. Let's roll those shoulders forwards, dropping the head, relaxing the arms on the exhale. Inhale, open chest, lengthen through the front of the neck, keep those knees soft. Exhale, closing the chest, stretching between the shoulder blades. Inhale, open and lengthen. And again. Couple more of those. And your last one. Wonderful. Lift those hands up with the palms facing in front of you. Think about pushing through the heel of the hand, and we're going to open them up slowly and with control. Go back as far as you can and experience that stretch through the bottom of the arms there. Coming back round to the front. Lovely deep inhale. And we'll open it up again. Taking another deep breath in there. Let's release those arms and just roll the shoulders back a few repetitions, forward a few repetitions, and bring them back to relax. So we're going to go into some rotation. So let's go into our T-shaped rotation. If rotates too far back, you won't see my head. Okay, so placing those feet in a T position, one foot being perpendicular to the other, and just space them apart. Remember, you want your hips to be facing towards that front foot, and arms as well. And think about being really tall. So take a lovely deep inhale, zip up through the core. And on the exhale, just rotate from lower spine with the hips still facing forwards. Go back into the elbow, following that with your head. Inhale back to center. Exhale to open. So remember, you want your weight to be in between those two legs, so evenly spread on each leg. And again. Remember to keep those shoulders relaxed. And if you want to, you can go into full stretch through from fingertip to fingertip. Try not to lean back. And try and keep those hips facing forwards as much as you can. Inhale back to center. Exhale to open. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Inhale back to center. And exhale to open. Inhale back to center. 2 more on that side. And your last one. Wonderful, roll those shoulders back. Let's swap those feet over. So opposite leg is forwards. Remember, hip width apart, hips facing towards the front leg. Really lovely, tall and straight. Lovely deep breath in, tiny waist. And let's go back to that elbow. And inhale back to center. Exhale back to that elbow. Inhale back to center. And remember, you can add that straight arm if you wish. Remember to try and get that rotation in the lower back by keeping those hips pointing forwards as much as possible. And relax those shoulders if you aren't already. Inhale, back to center. Really lengthen through those fingertips the whole time. Think of it as a lovely flexibility exercise. So you're stretching the whole time. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. Keep that waist tiny. And your last one. Wonderful. Just release those arms, give them a little bit of a shake and a shoulder roll if you want to. So we're going to go into our V-stretch, and then we're going to add monkey squat in between. So remember, the monkey squat's always optional. So we're going to take a lovely deep breath in, engage through that core. On the exhale, just open up into your V-stretch. Breathing in. Exhale back to center. Inhale, make sure you're standing tall. Exhale into that V. Opening up the chest, lengthening through the front of the neck. Breathing in and lengthen. Make sure we're engaged there. Exhale up into the V. Inhale back to center. So add in that monkey squat option if you choose to. Exhale into that V stretch. Breathing in. Exhale, come into the monkey squat. Making sure that your weight's over your heels. Inhale back into that V stretch. Exhale, monkey squat. Sorry, I have some boxes there that are getting in my way. Inhale, V stretch. Exhale, monkey squat. Inhale, V stretch. So try and make sure your feet are parallel, and try and make sure those knees are coming directly over where the big toes are and the weight is on the heels. If you think your form isn't anything but perfect, just try not to go quite so deep into the squat. So just go as shallow or deep as you please. as long as that form is correct. Inhale back into that V stretch. We're going to hold it for a little while longer now, just pushing through the heels and just kind of pulsing in that squat for a few breaths. Okay, wonderful. Let's go back into a lovely V. Then exhale again. Push up through those heels if you're happy to. If not, just go into a full body stretch. Wonderful. I'm going to do that one more time. Lovely deep breath into that V stretch. Exhale, monkey squat and push up through those heels. Just pulse there. Keep on breathing. Wonderful. Let's come into a full body stretch onto the toes if you're comfortable doing so. And take a few breaths to loosen off through those legs. Trying to keep your balance. Okay, stretch all the way down. And let's just loosen up those hip flexors. Again, focusing straight in front of us. Deep inhale, make sure we're engaged. On the exhale, left knee up, opening out. Inhale back to center. And exhale on the right, opening out. Inhale back to center. Make sure you're engaged. Exhale on the left, open that up. Inhale back to center. Okay. Trying to target that that range of motion. Try and get those knees as high as you can. We'll do one more on this side. Wonderful. Let's come to the backs of our mats and go into our lovely roll downs. Still taking a lovely deep breath in, tiny waist. Exhale, roll the shoulders forward. Relaxing the head completely. We're going to come down vertebrae by vertebrae as far as we're comfortable going. Take a lovely deep breath in at the end. Exhale as you come up, vertebrae by vertebrae, using that core, using the backs of the legs and the glute muscles. Open the chest up, lengthen through the neck. Inhale. Exhale. To continue. And so we all know what we're doing with this exercise. Just remind yourself, relax the head, relax the arms, and make sure the knees aren't too bent. Just soft. Try and push yourself a little bit further each time you come down. I'm still in our warm-up phase, so I'm still trying to warm up that flexibility there. Excuse me. Okay, we'll do a couple more and then we'll hold them down there. Have a lovely deep inhale at the end. Exhale as you come back up to standing. Okay, so on your next repetition, once you get down to the floor, we're just going to hold it there if we're comfortable doing so. Remember, if you're not, just go into a full body stretch. So all we're going to do is just try and exhale. Each exhale, we're just going to try and get deeper into that stretch. And so try to keep those legs straight as possible without looking the knees out. And just try to test yourself, try and push further into the stretch on your exhales, lengthening through the hamstrings and the calf muscles. Keep that head relaxed. Keep those arms relaxed. Just aiming closer to the ground, closer to those legs. Okay, deep breath in. And tilting that tailbone under, following that with the rest of the spine. Breathing in at the top. And one more, we're going to do the same again. Trying to push further into that roll down on your exhale. Okay, lovely. Last deep breath in. And on your exhale, you're just going to crawl down onto the mat. I'm going to go into our seated mermaids just to stretch through our sides as well. So just placing one leg on top of the other. Remember, you've got the option of sitting on a block. And if you aren't comfortable in this position, just come onto your knees. Okay, lovely deep breath in, tiny waist. On the exhale, stretching up and over with that left arm. So you can come onto a straight arm if that works for you. If you feel you've got the control, come down onto that bent arm. Lovely deep breath in. Make sure we're not leaning forwards or back. Exhale, use that core to come back to center. Left arm going on the left knee. And stretching over to the other side, keeping that chest open. Deep breath in. Exhale to repeat. Try as hard as you can to use that core to bring yourself back up to center. We don't want to be putting too much pressure on the floor. And think about your Pilates kind of posture as well. You've got elongation through the neck. Make sure you're not squashing the chin into the chest at any point. Thinking very lovely, long, elegant necks and spines. Okay, one more on each side for this one. Keeping that butt and shoulder relaxed. Remember, we're just going to swap those knees over to the other side. Lovely deep breath in, zipping up through the core. And just continuing. Onto that straight arm if you prefer. Or you can even bend it a little bit. You don't need to go iron straight or forearm. Just as far as you feel you got the control. Keeping that bottom shoulder relaxed, making sure that chest is staying parallel to the wall in front of you. Okay, we're going to do one more on each side after this repetition. Wonderful. Coming back to centre. Let's rotate onto our backs. And just do some little toe taps before we come down onto the mat. So straight legs out at a 45-degree angle, or if you prefer, keeping them there. If you're in this position, we're lifting. And if you're in this position, we're tapping them down. Keep on breathing. Keep that chest open. Keep that space between the chin and the chest. And keep that waist as flat as possible. Okay, we'll go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, coming back down to the mat. Make sure there's a nice space between the heels and bottom. Roll those shoulders down and open the chest. Remember, legs are parallel to one another. And we'll just stretch off the neck, lowering that chin down to the chest. And then looking up towards that wall or whatever is above you. Exhale, lowering that chin down again. Inhale, lengthening the front of the neck. Exhale, lengthening the back of the neck. And repeating. Remember, if you are more comfortable, you can place a cushion underneath your head. I don't always say this in classes, but if you do feel like you've got that curvature of the spine, you can place a cushion underneath there if that supports you a little bit as well, as long as it's a small cushion or rolled up towel. Okay, let's just decrease the size of those movements until we find our central position, looking directly up towards the ceiling. Wonderful. Okay, come to sit neutral. So inhale, engage through the pelvic floor, close the gap between the lower back and the mat. Exhale, release. Inhale, engage. Exhale to release. Make sure those legs are staying parallel, knees aren't flattening in towards one another. Exhale to release. Keeping those shoulders relaxed, inhale, engage. And again. This time stronger. And we'll hold it as strongly as we can here. Just inhale, engage for a few breaths. Really thinking about specifically the pelvic floor. Even stronger still. Inhale, stronger still. And exhale, let's release. Okay, wonderful. Make sure we've got our neutral position. So remember that small gap between the lower back and the mat. And that lovely strong core. So we're going to take our weights, going into our arm exercises. So remember, with the arm exercises, you've got the choice of doing them with your legs like this, or you can come up into tabletop if you please. Makes it more challenging. You still want to make sure you're not compromising that neutral position. So please choose whichever one works best for you. So, lovely deep breath in. Exhale as you come up to have those arms straight up above you. Inhale, relax the shoulders. And exhale, let's open those arms up slowly and with control. And let's just hold them just above the ground. Taking a few breaths there. Okay, slowly and with control, coming back up. to center. And again, exhale as you open. And then we're going to hold them down there for a few breaths. Make sure you're in a T position. You don't want to be coming up into this Y position. Even if that means you're not opening those arms quite as far, that's fine. But you do want them to be in a straight line from one another. Or on the same plane. Staying strong. Remember, you're using your core as well, making sure that's staying engaged. Hold those weights. Inhale, we'll come back up to center. And this time we're just going to pulse. So we're going to do 20 pulses while we're down there. So just little pulses, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Back up to center. Take a lovely deep inhale. And this time we're going to lower those arms above the head, not compromising that core and that neutral position. And let's just hold them there for a few breaths. Okay. And coming back to center. And again, let's come back out, up above the head. And hold them there for a few breaths. Staying strong. Just try and support that with your core back into the center. And we'll do the same again. So we're going to pulse for 20. Remember, if your arms are getting tired at any point, you can release weights or relax them. Gently and with control. Let's pulse 20, 19. Really use your core this time because it is so easy to compromise it. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, gently with control, let's lift and lower those weights either side of us, allowing our legs to come down as well. And just place those weights aside for later. And we're going to take a lovely deep breath in. We're going to come into our Pilates toe taps, Pilates heel taps. So lift one knee and then the other knee, making sure that you're staying in that neutral position when you come into tabletop. And we're just going to exhale, lower that left leg. Inhale. Exhale, lower right leg. Inhale to lift. So again, making sure you're keeping your neutral position. Just lower your toes as low as you're comfortable lowering them. I don't think I could put low in a sentence any more times than that. So just lower your toes as far as is comfortable for you without you compromising your neutral. If you'd rather go to a heel tap instead, please feel free. Remember, this is a lovely, slow, gentle exercise. Keep on breathing. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. If anyone would like slightly more challenging, to make it slightly more challenging, you can lift the head, neck, and upper back off the mat. Keeping those hands behind the head and keeping those elbows spread. Remember that space between the chin and the chest. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to add another progression or a slight tweak to it. Those of you who do have the head, neck, and upper back off the mat, I recommend probably lowering it for now. So we're going to go down, back up to center, and then open that leg up. Coming back to center. Repeat on the other side. Down, back up to center, opening the leg up, back up to center. Inhale there. Exhale as you come down. Inhale, center. Exhale, open. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, down. Inhale, use that core, back to center. Exhale, open. Inhale, back to center. And again, so make sure it's lovely slow exercise with breathing. Supporting the weight of the leg the whole time. Try and increase that range of movement as you open the leg up to the side. And remember the whole time, so easy to forget, think about your core, think about your neutral position. Make sure that gap between lower back and mat is staying the same size. You can even place your hands underneath there to see how you're responding. Okay, let's do 2 more on each side. Back up to center. Let's do 1 more on each side. And your last repetition here. Wonderful. Lowering those legs down gently and with control. We'll come into shoulder bridges. And our progression stage is going to be a simple crunch. So just start with some simple bridges. Closing that gap between the lower back and the mat. Vertebrae by vertebrae up into the shoulders. Engage the glutes at the top. Lovely deep breath in. Fill those lungs up. Exhale, coming down like a strand of beads. Really articulating that spine until you get to that fuse part at the bottom. Allow that gap to come back between the lower back and the mat. Lovely deep breath in. Exhale. As you come back up. Inhale at the top. Engage glutes. Exhale. So remember, you want to keep those hips level with one another the whole time. Try to make sure that you're not dipping one hip or the other. If you naturally are doing that, then just be aware of it because it shows some kind of weakness or tension in this hip or in one particular leg. Lovely deep breath in at the top. Exhale to come down. So for those of you who are doing the progression, again, just arms open, hands behind the head, elbows out of those the field of vision. Lovely deep breath in at the top of the shoulder bridge. Remember that gap between the chin and the chest. And looking down towards the thighs when you come back up. Inhale at the top of the bridge. Exhale as you come down. Inhale at the top of the crunch. Exhale as you pivot. Breathing in. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Remember, if you don't have that strength to kind of bring that head all the way up off the mat and the shoulders, if you're like this, it's probably better if you don't go with the crunch. So you don't want to put that strain on the neck. Lovely deep breath in at the top. But these shoulder bridges are a lovely exercise on their own anyway. Really good for mobility and strength. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. Coming to your last repetition. Wonderful. Let's lower that down with control. Hug the knees into the chest. And just go in clockwise circles. Anti-clockwise. pull those into wherever you're feeling tension. So you can start on one side and then change to the other. And focus on the ankles as well, rolling back and forth. Again, just kind of stretch those areas where you're feeling that tension. Bring yourself back to those Pilates breaths. Deep inhales through the nose, exhaling, releasing all that air out through the mouth. Okay, let's lower those legs one at a time. So we're going to go into our alternative 100. So keeping that right leg bent as it is, we're going to straighten the left leg. We want to, so I've done exactly the opposite of what I said. Keeping the right leg bent, we want to go straighten the left leg and then place the right arm behind the head here. So I'm awful. Every time I explain this exercise, I get it mixed up. Okay, start again, start afresh, back here. Okay, knees bent, lengthen that left leg, and you want to bend the left arm, and that's behind the head. So left leg straight, left arm bent, and then we got right leg straight, and you're stretching through the right arm. So this is an oblique kind of version of 100. Take a lovely deep breath in, engage through the core. On the exhale, think about that left shoulder going towards the right hip, pointing towards those feet. Inhale, let's come back to start. Exhale, crunching, so that diagonal crunch. Remember that space between the chin and the chest. Inhale, back to start. Exhale, reaching. Inhale, back to start. One more. And we'll pulse. We'll go for 50. So inhale and exhale. And that's 10. And out. That's 20 in. And out. That's 30 in. And out. That's 40 in. And out. Wonderful, that's your 50. So we're going to swap that over. Left leg bent, right leg straight. Right arm bent, left arm straight. Lovely deep breath in. Engage through the core. Again, we'll do 4 repetitions of the prep. So just stretching through to the feet. Right shoulder going towards left hip. Inhale back to center. Exhale again. Tiny waist. Inhale back to center. So you can see your waist when you come up. Try and remind yourself to flatten it as much as you possibly can. So that way you make sure you're using those kind of internal muscles rather than the external ones. Okay, we're going into that 50 now, rather than 100. So in and out. That's 10. In, 2, and out. That's 20 in. And out. That's 30 in. And out. That's 40 in. And out. Wonderful, that's your 50. And let's go into a lovely full body stretch to release that. Flex those feet. Stretch through the heels all the way to the fingertips. And allow yourself to arch the back gently to stretch through the abdominal muscles as well. Okay, let's point those feet. Stretching the front of the ankles. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to rotate over. We're going to do some of these exercises on all fours. So you want the knees to be directly underneath the hips, hands to be directly underneath the shoulders. And remember, whatever's most comfortable for you. If you don't like loading onto your hands like this, you can go onto fists like this, or forearms like that. So whatever works best for you. Let's just start with the teaser. So just going into the legs first with the teaser. Lovely deep breath in. Remember, you want to keep those hips and the pelvis straight, so not tilting at all. Lovely deep breath in and stretch through that right leg. Inhale there. Exhale to the left leg. Inhale, stretch. Exhale to the right leg. And to the left. Okay, if you're comfortable doing so, you can add the arms as well. So opposite arm to leg. And stretch through from fingertip to toe. Breathing as you move. Inhaling as you stretch. Keeping that core strong, making sure you're not tilting the pelvis, and keeping that waist as tiny as possible. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to add some progressions here, but I'm just going to focus on the legs for progression. So just doing a couple more repetitions of the pointer. So one more on each side. Wonderful, that's your last progression. So hands are back on the mat here, making sure those hips are level again. We're going to go up, breathe in there, exhale back to center, and lift the opposite leg. Breathe in at the top. Exhale as you swap. Inhale at the top. Exhale as you swap. Breathing in there. Remember again, trying to keep that pelvis strong. Don't allow yourself to completely relax into it. You're trying to stay strong there through the core. Although there is a natural tilt, obviously. Just make sure it's not too big. Supporting it with those pelvic floor muscles. Okay, one more on the other side. And we're going to do some pulses here as well. Apparently pulses are my favourite thing today. So let's do 20, 19, 18, 17, stay strong, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale back to center. And exhale, let's come up on the other side. 20. Remember just to keep on breathing as you would. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. Back to center. Last progression here, we're just going to open up to the side. So I'll show you on the right side first. Lovely deep breath in, make sure we're in neutral. And on the exhale, let's come up, opening up to the side. So again, squeezing those glutes. We're targeting all different kind of parts of the glutes with this exercise. Exhale as you move, inhale as you stretch. Exhale as you move. Inhale as you stretch. Exhale as you move. Inhale as you stretch. Exhale as you move. Inhale to stretch there. Wonderful. For those of you who are feeling daring, we'll go into pulses. If not, just carry on with what you're doing. So 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was a burner, wasn't it? Maybe that's just me. Lovely deep breath in, and we'll try it again on the other side. Wonderful. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Coming into center. Lower that bottom onto the heels and stretch through into a shell stretch. Taking a few lovely deep breaths there. Okay, crawling those arms over to the right and stretching through that left shoulder. And then go to the other side. Wonderful. Okay, we're gently going to come up to seated. Just rotate into a seated position. Starting with those legs just wider than mat width apart, with the feet flexed. We're going into the saw, so lovely deep breath in at the top, stretching forward. I'm going to move to the side. And on the exhale, reaching towards that right leg with the left arm. You can come down to the calf. If you're able to, come down to the toe. Make sure those feet are staying flexed though. Inhale at the top and exhale, coming down on the other side. Make sure your hips both staying anchored to the ground the whole time. Inhale at the top. Exhale as you stretch. Inhale back to the top. And exhale, repeat on the other side. Remember that arm behind you, you want to stretch it away. Lovely length from fingertip to fingertip. Let's make that a bit more dynamic. So saw, inhale, center, saw, inhale, center. So again, make sure you're not jolting those hips. Make sure the bottom is staying glued to the floor. 2 more on each side. 1 more on each side. I should have given you an extra one there. I'm being too nice. Wonderful. Let's come to center. We want to have those feet together this time. Again, flex. We'll just go into our spinal rotation. So crossing those arms over the chest, make sure those shoulders are relaxed. Lovely deep breath in, tiny waist. On the exhale, rotate to the right, making sure you're staying as tall as possible. Follow that butt shoulder with the head. Make sure those shoulders are staying relaxed. Inhale at the end. Exhale, come to the other side. Inhale at the end, tiny waist. Exhale. And remember, you've got those other arm options, either hands by the head. Or hands out like this. Remember, you can always take those weights if you do want to give yourself a little bit of an added challenge. Keeping that core really strong. And remember, you want those legs to be anchored together, staying still. Hips aren't wobbling and legs aren't wobbling, anything like that. Keep the feet flexed. Stretching from fingertip to fingertip. Lovely strong spine. Wonderful. Okay, we'll do 2 more on each side. trying to make sure we finish on the opposite side to which we started. Wonderful. So we should be coming to an end around now. Just release those weights if you've got them. And give those arms a little bit of a shake off. We're going to flex those feet and just do a lovely spine stretch forward. So stretching through all around the back of the spine and just dropping that head, making sure that head's completely relaxed, keeping those feet flexed, taking a few lovely deep breaths there. Remembering these stretches, you can try and test yourself by trying to push slightly further into that stretch in the exhale. But if you are doing that, remember you still want to keep those feet flexed. Although it seems such a small thing, it is kind of where a lot of that stretch comes from, especially through the legs. Wonderful stuff. Okay. Gently with control. Let's come up to seating, and then we're going to go onto our sides. We want to have our knees bent. And we want to have our elbows bent as well. So bottom arm underneath the bottom ear, top arm on top of the top ear. So like that. Elbows to close, elbows closed. I'm showing you from the front as well. So like that. In case anyone can't see. So we're down here, taking a lovely deep breath in. And on the exhale, just open that top elbow up. And just go as far as you can, looking towards the back elbow. Trying to keep those knees stacked one on top of the other. Make sure that rotation is coming from lower spine. Upper spine as well. And we're just holding that for a number of breaths. Thank you, wonderful. Closing that up again. Turning with control. We're going to roll over onto our backs. First, coming into the figure four stretch. Left ankle folded over the right knee. Remember, if that's enough of a stretch in itself, you can choose to just stick there. Otherwise, we're just going to place the hands underneath the right knee and pull that in towards ourselves. So starting with clockwise circles. Okay, and then going into anti-clockwise circles. Wonderful. So again, pulling in wherever you feel that tension. Circling those ankles to massage it. You can choose a few different spots there, making sure we're still doing our Pilates breaths. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Remember, we're not really physically pulling in with the arms, we're more kind of using them like a band. Wonderful. Let's swap those legs over. And we're going to repeat on the other side, starting with clockwise circles. Okay, and then go to anti-clockwise circles. Okay, again, pulling in, thinking about those ankles circling clockwise and anti-clockwise. And then choosing those areas with tension to stretch on. Beautiful stuff. Okay, let's just go into that lovely groin stretch with the palms of the feet, soles of the feet facing towards one another. Allow those knees to drop either side. Think about that stretch through the insides of the thighs and the hip flexors. Taking a few lovely deep breaths there. Wonderful. Okay. So we're just going to fold over onto the other side. So because I know what you guys know what you're doing, I'm going to face away from the camera for a second. So remember, arms are like this, and the right ear is on that hand, which is on the mat. So lovely deep breath in, make sure those knees are bent. And on the exhale, gently and with control, opening those elbows up and looking towards that back elbow. So as far as you can go, if that means not placing it on the floor, that's fine. We don't want to be allowing the hips to rotate. Think about that rotation coming from the lower spine instead. So keeping those knees stacked one on top of the other. And we'll hold that there for a few breaths. Really think again about your Pilates breathing. So remember, you're filling the lungs up to the front, side and back. Exhale and releasing all that air out through the mouth. Inhale, fill those lungs up again. Exhale, release. Wonderful. We're going to close that stretch. And gently and with control, bring yourself up to a standing position, however you please. Rolling the shoulders back. So let's do some arm circles. I can't hold my head. Okay, come to the front. Inhale, circle forwards. Exhale, push the air out behind you. Other direction. Inhale, circle backwards onto the toes. Exhale, push the air out. And again. And in the opposite direction. One more in each direction. Circling backwards. Going into our final roll down. Release head, neck and arms. And that tailbone pivots last of all. Trying to get that little bit further than you were earlier. I'm definitely feeling more flexible now, that's good. Can't be taking weeks off Pilates, it's not okay. We need it. Wonderful, lovely deep inhale. Exhale, coming back up. Vertebrae by that. Wonderful, roll those shoulders back and have a little bit of shake around and a boogie. Okay, we're all done. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending.